Hi everyone, it's Lori with Behavior Education at Spirit Keeper Animal Sanctuary. Welcome to this Thursday video for August 31st, 2023. August is almost over and we're going to be heading into September, which means that next Sunday, or actually this coming Sunday, is Super Dwarf Sunday. And we will catch up with Ryder and TC, and I'll let you know what they've been up to. TC, as usual, wants out a lot, so he is out to help me with the introduction for this Thursday's video. Here he is right here. He's just getting his evening started. He wanted out, so I opened his door and he just came right out onto my hand, and I said, TC, you can help me do the intro to this video, and then you can go about your business and explore and exercise for the evening. So in just a second, I'm going to put TC down. Now, why can't I make the video while holding TC? It's because in this week's video, I am spotlighting some books. I've been asked by several people for some book recommendations, and I'm going to show you my top 3 books that I don't think I could possibly live without. And when you see what these are, just keep in mind what my profession is. I'm in animal health and behavior. And so these books may not be what you expect, but they are about snakes. And so let me put TC down and I will show you what these books are. Okay, everybody, I have put TC on an exercise stand where he can spend as much time as he wants to while I'm doing this. And I think he is in a room where he can't get into any trouble, but it's TC, so I can't guarantee that. So these 3 books that I'm going to show you are so important to me that they are literally right here by my desk. I don't think a day goes by when I don't open one or all 3 of these books. And the first one is this book right here, How Snakes Work. It is by Harvey B. Lillywhite. And it is an amazing book. I reference it all the time. I look things up in it all the time. And it goes over the structure, function, and behavior of snakes in our world. And he's very, very detailed in his explanations of literally how snakes work, how their respiratory system works, how their digestive system works, how they move, etc. And so I absolutely think that this is a must-have book for snake keepers, and I reference it all the time. The next book I'm going to show you, I actually have to get up to pick this one up. It is so heavy. I can't lift it with one hand. Look at this book. Yes, this is a textbook, and I open this probably on a daily basis. It is Mater's Reptile and Amphibian Medicine and Surgery's 3rd edition. This came out in 2019. The electronic ebook came out in 2018. It is not an inexpensive book, but I couldn't live without it. It is priceless to me. And I have lots of sections highlighted. I have lots of sections bookmarked. And yeah, I highlight in the book sections that I refer to a lot. It actually has a chapter on behavioral medicine. It has a chapter on training, and it has a section on welfare. And in addition to all of that, of course, it goes over things all related to health and medicine in reptiles and amphibians. So, Mater's Reptile and Amphibian Medicine and Surgery. I can't live without it. It is an investment, but it's well worth it to me. It's heavy. I can barely lift it with one hand. So let me set this down, and then I'm going to show you the 3rd/4th book, because actually there's 2 that kind of tie for my 3rd place. And on any given day, if you ask me what are your top 3 favorite books that you couldn't live without, these 2 would absolutely be the first 2 in no particular order. Probably Mater's first, and then How Snakes Work. I love these books. I use them all the time. But number 3, it's a toss-up on what hat I'm wearing on what day. So if I'm wearing my animal welfare science cap, this is absolutely my favorite book. It's by Marion Stamp Dawkins. It's The Science of Animal Welfare, Understanding What Animals Want. She writes a lot of scientific papers regarding animal welfare and well-being, and this is an excellent book that gives an overview of current topics in animal welfare science, and I highly recommend this book, Animal Welfare Science by Marion Stamp Dawkins. It goes over welfare metrics. It goes over how we measure welfare and well-being in animals. It goes over what we look at as far as getting a big picture of how we can determine if an animal is experiencing optimal welfare or not. And it doesn't just include stress hormone levels. It includes all sorts of things that we have to look at in totality. And that's what I really like about it. And she goes over what the advantages and the disadvantages are of looking at these different measures of welfare. And so I recommend this book. Now, yes, I said there is a fourth book that sometimes would tie for my number 3. Okay, I had to go get this one, but it wasn't too far away. It was just a little bit further away. I have a lot of what's in this book memorized because when I put my animal trainer's hat on, this book is an animal training book, basically. It's all about the laws of learning and applying those across species to different animals. It's titled Zoo Animal Learning and Training. It's edited by Vicky, Melfi, Nicole, Dorey, and Samantha Ward. However, each chapter is actually authored by a different author, and they are all actual animal trainers. And so there are probably 20 different authors in this book, and the subjects include everything from what animal training is, what cooperative care training is, the benefits of it, zoo animal learning, the cognitive abilities of wild animals, learning theory, how to choose the right training method for your animal, species-specific considerations in perception and vision and hearing, and just all sorts of learning principles and how they're applied to different species of animals. And also it talks about training equipment and training in a group setting. And so I highly recommend this book if you're going down the animal training path. There are days when I reach for this animal welfare science book and days when I reach for this animal training and the laws of learning science book. So these would tie for third place for me. And then I will recommend one more animal training book while I have you guys here in this video. It's really close by as well. This is a classic. It is this big, thick book called Animal Training. It's by Ken Ramirez, and it was published when he was at the Shud Aquarium. Successful Animal Management Through Positive Reinforcement Training. It talks a lot about cooperative care training and how to teach animals to voluntarily participate in their own care. So there you have it. Those are my book recommendations. I will go through them one more time for you just to review. How Snakes Work by Harvey B. Lillywhite. The third edition of Reptile and Amphibian Medicine and Surgery. It's Mater's Reptile and Amphibian Medicine and Surgery. And if you haven't listened to it, Dylan on the Animals at Home podcast actually just did an interview with Dr. Doug Mater about not only how he puts together this book and gathers all the contributors that contribute to all the chapters and subjects in this book, but he just published his own book called The Vet at Noah's Ark. I just finished it. It was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. And it was just kind of a year in the life of him as a veterinarian during a pivotal time in his work. And then I'm going to tie for third place The Science of Animal Welfare by Marion Stamp Dawkins, and Zoo Animal Learning and Training by a whole bunch of different authors, but you can find it under Vicky, Melfi as one of the editors. And then as runner-up, this book, Animal Training by Ken Ramirez. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me through my website at behavioreducation.org, or you can message me on Facebook or Instagram. Of course, you can comment here on YouTube. And I do have a Patreon, and my Patreon community is a learning community. That is where I teach extra classes. I provide extra educational content. I do group live chats and coaching, and I do private live video coaching. And you can find me on Patreon at patreon.com/behavioreducation, or you can simply email me at behavioreducationllc@gmail.com. And until next time, please remember to always be kind and love your animals.